ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. I thank all of you for joining today's session on the topic in pursuit of excellence. The reason why I chose this topic, I'm a company secretary by profession, and in our profession we generally use the terminology uh, in pursuit of professional excellence. So it's been almost 13 years that I have qualified myself. I'm a qualified company secretary, and I've been seeing this term quite often in my life, in my career. And when it comes to professional excellence, I found okay, fine. I did get some sort of excellence while pursuing my career in that domain, but I used to feel that is it really enough? And then I used to work on other dimensions of excellence, and I did get an opportunity to learn a couple of things, which I wanted to share with all of you. So I thank all of you for joining the session. So I'll just quickly give you a brief of what excellence is. So excellence is just you can have different synonyms for it. It could be like when you pursue something, and if someone likes your work, then they say excellent or brilliant or perfect. So excelling yourself in any specific domain, it could be music, it could be any sports activity that you like to do. And when you really perform it up to a certain level, which really is extraordinary, which is different from what people in general can do, that falls within the category of excellence. So again, coming back to my own legal profession, in our legal profession, we generally review different contracts, different agreements, or we draft them from time to time. When we review or draft those contracts, so it goes through multiple stages of review. We review it at once, then we understand and observe, okay, fine, these are the changes to be done, or this is how it needs to be drafted. The language needs to be put in this way. But then again, when we do second review after some time, then we, come across, okay, these are the further changes that we can make around the contract. So the more we do again and again, the more it gets refined. This is a continuous process that keeps on happening. So refining is a continuous process, and eventually, when you do it properly over a period of time, under a proper guidance or with a proper support, then you can really bring out something extraordinary, which you yourself at times can't believe that this is being done by you originally, where it was and where it is. Again, taking an example of my own life, when I finished my college after finishing when I finished my school. After finishing school, I entered college life, and I had passed out from a government school. So when I used to interact my friends, different people in the community, I observed that for me, speaking English will be a dream forever, and I won't be able to ever speak English the way people really talk to each other in English. So after pursuing my 12th, that was my situation. I could not even dream of that. And another thing interesting. So one is speaking English, and the other is interacting with people on a social platform when you are addressing people on a specific topic or a specific agenda, uh, with with the with the grace of God and with my own efforts, I could really get a little better than I'm. I can say yes, today I'm a little better than what I really was uh, maybe 20 years before. So how I actually had that opportunity to excel myself in different dimensions in my life, I would be sharing some of those best practices, and I will also be aligning them to our real spiritual values and culture. How by practicing the spiritual values and culture we can actually be excellent in whatever we want to pursue in our life. So there could be many different dimensions to it, and we'll get to them. So let us begin with the topic that we have for today. So within this topic, we have this agenda for today. Quickly, I'll just run through the agenda, and then we'll get into the each section separately, and we'll discuss in detail over there. So beginning with, the first part would be real life examples. We know that there are a lot of people in the world. They have achieved some sort of excellence in their different domains. So we'll be talking about those real life examples, and they're like, you can, thousands and lakhs of them could be there who would have achieved some sort of excellence, in the last few decades or few centuries. Now, then the second is the outcome of excellence. So when people try to pursue, or when people are endeavoring for excellence in their career, then there are some outcomes of it. Outcomes at times are not really good. I mean, outcomes in terms of an individual personality trait, or outcome in terms of an individual's behavior, or his dealing, or his way of looking at things in the society. So what is the final outcome of the excellence when we try to pursue things at the materialistic platform, or when we try to pursue things materialistic platform, when we say, means uh, you want to just be a good singer, just for yourself. You do not have any specific agenda around it. You just want to be a good singer, or you just want to be a good uh, cricketer to get name, fame, and prestige in the society. So it's all just for you. So whenever we do anything just for ourselves, that is termed as material pursuit. Whenever we do something beyond than just for ourselves, then it moves into a different tangent. So let us see, and we'll discuss that part. Then the third part is key questions on excellence. There are some questions that may pop up in the mind of an individual that, okay, fine, we are talking about excellence here. Then we do have certain questions around it, because everyone in this world do not really even think about excellence, and they may not really be interested in what excellence really is. So we have some questions to deal with on excellence. Then we'll be talking about two great personalities of the world who have achieved perfection or excellence in the different dimensions, and they have really they can be considered as a role model for the whole world, to be followed in a way. We'll discuss that. Then we have, how can one achieve excellence? So different people have different approach of achieving this excellence in whatever they pursue in their life as their goal. If someone wants to be again musician, or someone wants to be a writer, or if someone wants to be a expert academia, yes, someone wants to be expert in academics. So all those different areas, or someone wants to be a great speaker, that is also another area when a person might be willing to have some sort of excellence. Then we have Vedic view on excellence, what our Vedas says about excellence. So I would say perfection, not really excellence. To technically go by the terminology there, and we have something on excellence even within our Vedic knowledge. Then there are some limitations, or then you can say there are some some key governing factors which we should always keep in mind whenever we are pursuing anything in this world. So let us be ready for those limitations or the challenges which we'll be discussing. Then what are the final learning lessons which I would like to share with you as a best practice, which I had been following, I had been trying to follow consistently over a period of time, and I could really resilience. These are the things that if people follow in the word at large, then they can also be on the similar lines as I could be, as I could try to manage myself to be at that platform. And then last is a missing link. What is a missing link? What are we missing? If we are missing something in the pursuit of excellence, what is that missing link? We'll talk about that. So let's begin our first part. Real life examples. We do have some good real life examples here. So let's start with, again, the big personalities of the world. We all know about them. You all can see these people. I mean, some of them do exist. Oh, unfortunately, no one exists right now. All of them have left their bodies. So let's begin with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was an expert into the music world, and his dance. He had some. He was the genius of perfection, we can say. Then we have Kalpana Chawla. Kalpana Chawla, we all know that she went into space. She really created a different image of India all across the globe by really achieving that, which probably nobody could achieve in the past. Then we do have an example of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, we all know that he is one of the business tycoon who really brought a significant, change or a new dimension altogether into the world of gadgets and technology. Then we have Irfan Khan, who had been an actor, who had been a good actor, and who really played a good role in the film industry within our Indian world. So these are some of the real life examples which we can relate to, and maybe some of us would like to be either somewhere falling into the category of being a big musician, or we want to go to the space, we want to do things differently, or we want to be a scientist, or we want to be like Steve Jobs, we want to do things differently and really create some wonder for the world, or someone wants to probably be a star. Star means film star. So these are the different, and there could be other dimensions also, other different examples that can be picked up here and discussed. But I just wanted to keep a brief of all these real life examples. Now there is a little challenge. There's a little challenge, and what the challenge is, if you really go into the life of these people, if you really study their life in detail, then you can get to know those challenges which they have shared in some way or other. So let us see what those challenges are. So outcome of excellence, when people are making an effort or a conscious effort of having material pursuits, or material pursuits, whenever I'm using, just consider it, whenever you want to achieve something just for yourself, you do not really think about others, you just want to do it for yourself. And even when you are doing something for others, but you have an element of fame, prestige, and absolutely gain, then it is not really getting aside from material pursuit. Ultimately, it will also fall into material pursuit. So these are the different, you can see the different elements that we generally get along when we are on the verge of perfection or excellence in our life, whatever we want to achieve. The first one is competitiveness. If you want to be at the top, you have to see who's there with you in the competition. It could be your own friends, and you want to really leave them behind, and you want to be ahead, because definitely in this world of limitation, everyone cannot be expert, or everyone cannot be perfect. They may be perfect in something or something up to a certain level, but not really up to the level of, like, the standard level of measuring measuring perfection. Competitiveness, then if you want to be competitive, then naturally you have to have some level of enviousness. Enviousness comes when you think that, okay, this person is doing this much, I also want to do this much. So we have some kind of heated feeling for that person with whom we are trying to be competitive. Then another aspect is greediness. We become greedy to achieve things uh, which we think is the best for our life. So we have to have that element of greediness if we want to be active. Then we get pride. If we achieve something, then naturally the outcome would be that we'll have pride. Oh, I did this. I did something different to the world. So generally we have a tendency of giving credit to ourselves. We will discuss why is it so later. Then the next one is the fame. When you do things extraordinarily different, then there is an element of fame that comes along. People recognizes you. People give you a different level of respect. People want to be around you. People are really happy to see faces with you of you, and they are really enchanted and enamored by whatever activities you do. Once you achieve some sort of extraordinary excellence in any specific domain, and then ultimately at times it also manifests into anger. uh, I was recently, not really recently, but a couple of months back, I was attending a wedding. There was in that wedding, I happened to see a big film star who was also there, who was attending that wedding. And when he came, he he honestly could not really uh, come out of the car, and people were really. He finally managed to do it, and then people were just jumping on him, and his position was quite difficult. He was somehow trying to make artificial faces to keep people or to respond people that yes, he's happy, and this is his life. Every day it happens. It must be happening with him like this. Wherever he goes, people just start following him, and ultimately the result would be you will you will have pride. It is a natural consequence. If you have something really extraordinary which others do not have, due to which you have a lot of fame, you will have pride. So all these elements are there, which basically at some or other point of time in our life create some trouble. Let us see how that happens. I'll just quote one. I'll just quote a example or a quotation, which will give you a idea what I'm really trying to help you understand. So let us see one quotation of one of the recent uh, actor who passed away, Irfan Khan. So he wrote in one of his quote, "Wanting fame is a disease, and one day I'll want to be free from this disease, from this desire, where fame doesn't matter." So he's telling himself that, you know, somewhere or other I was diseased with this idea of, you know, becoming famous, and you can see that he's writing clearly that one day I'll want to be free from this disease. That means he could not get free from the disease. He was he was ultimately diseased. Obviously, he died because of some disease. But yes, even otherwise, on a mental platform, he had a disease that he wanted to be famous, and many of us want to be famous in our life, and which is one of the stumbling blocks ultimately when it comes to personal life. No matter what professional or worldly achievements you may have, by becoming excellent in your career, but that doesn't mean that you will be able to achieve things which you really wanted at the core of your heart. Similarly, if you look at the life of Steve Jobs in the end, before he was leaving his body, he has, he has, you know, given some remark of his own experience of life when he feels some sort of disconnection. And this is what people generally feel when they are aiming for excellence in the material pursuits. Next, there are some key questions on excellence. Yes, so let us discuss those key questions on excellence. Now, these are the questions maybe coming in the mind of people who are really interested to strive for excellence, because not every person in this world strive for excellence, because there are people in the world who think, okay, fine, whatever we are, fine, we are happy to be what we are, and we want to take things easy, let it go the way it is going. So they probably do not really want to do things in a different way. So this is what I mean. They are naturally designed in a way to not to think out of the box. They have limited their zone of being a perfectionist in any action that they do in their day-to-day life. So a perfectionist is a person who basically, it's not that the perfectionist will only hanker for perfection for X thing or X activity, let's say sports. He will hanker for perfection in each and every aspect of his or her life. That is a real perfection. That is a real excellence. Not just in one dimension or two dimensions, but in every action that you do in your life, you should just be excellent. Okay, now let us discuss these questions. The first question is, why one strives for excellence in life? We all have been originated from God, and God is excellent. His creation is excellent, and whatever he do, whatever he performs for this world is just perfect. And since we all are part and parcel of God, it is our natural propensity to to hanker for excellence or perfection in life. Like, yes, there are people who might not be really hankering for perfection or excellence in life, because because uh, they even do not know what excellence is, or they might be ignorant about it. But we cannot put ourselves in that box. We must think, ultimately we have all been originated from God. So maybe God want me to do this. So let me strive for excellence. So striving for excellence is ultimately originating from God, because God is excellent, God is perfect, God is full in all of his qualities, God is full in his own beauty. All those things falls within the dimension of God. Then the second question is, does everyone need to strive for excellence? The answer would be again yes, everyone in this world should strive for excellence. Every individual within this world should strive for it. Why? Because the real excellence is the excellence when we have an opportunity to connect ourselves with the source of excellence. And ultimately, that source of excellence is none but God. We have seen, we have observed the great artists in the history of even in the current time, whatever they do in their life in terms of achieving some excellence, ultimately at the core of their heart, they give credit and due regard to God, to what they achieve. And that is what the life is all about. We should learn to express our gratitude. We should learn to give a kind of gesture of thanks to everyone whosoever helps us in our passage to excellence, and God is definitely one of them. So all of us must strive for excellence. If we will do it, then God will be happy. Yes, we do agree that what should be the ideal excellence, that we will be talking later. Third, is there anything wrong in striving for excellence? So there is nothing wrong in striving for excellence. Everyone should strive for it. But yes, we need to decide where we really want to be excellent in our career, or maybe in our music, in our corporate life, or in our social circle, or in our family life. We want to be excellent in managing our family. So whatever you want to strive for, be be ready or continue with that momentum. But yes, you need to work on a couple of things in parallel so that things are aligned. Let us look at further. So two great personalities of the world. Now we are talking about two great personalities of the world who who were or who who is a perfectionist or who is one of the excellent, extraordinary man in this world, who has really shown a different kind of vision to the entire human society, at least when it comes to India and definitely outside India as well. So the first one is an example of excellency here we have in the word of social contribution for the entire India is our current Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. He had been making a conscious effort and he really has proven to the entire world that this is what is called as excellence. And then we have another personality uh, known as Srila Prabhupada, of whom most of us are unfortunately not aware of. So this excellency is the excellency in the dimension or in the word of spirituality and religion. So his contribution for spirituality and other religious practices and for spreading that message across the globe is Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of Hare Krishna movement. So I was telling we have another example of excellency here. Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of Hare Krishna movement, his contribution to the entire world is in the is in the is in the domain of giving the rich spiritual and religious values to the entire world. So he is known as founder Acharya. Acharya is one who is who teaches by his own example, and he departed from this world uh, a little more than 50 years from now in 77. But his contribution to entire globe, to the entire community is remarkable. Even at the present moment, after his passing of 50 years, people in this world are still following his teachings, his message, his instructions to become God consciousness, to be God conscious, and to follow a life with excellence, or to follow an exemplary life which people can learn, which people can also follow within their own life. So these are two great personalities who have taken shelter of our Vedic knowledge in the past. In the past, or maybe in the present also, not just in the past. Like if we go back to the history of Mr. Modi, and prior to getting into the politics, he had some experience with being into Himalayas. He met with some saints of India, and through which he explored the rich spiritual values and culture which he practices even today. The same thing goes with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of Hare Krishna movement. Srila Prabhupada also, he did hard struggle up to the age of 70 years, and he made himself like a extraordinary personality, and then he gave a extraordinary message of God consciousness to the entire world. So his contribution is also significant, and we all can definitely learn a lot from the contribution of both of these personalities that they have made for the entire world. Let's move further. Uh, so how can one achieve excellence? Now, this is one of the interesting questions that may arise in the mind of most of us, and if it doesn't arise, then maybe we need to work around it, why it doesn't arise, but ideally it should arise. So there's one small piece of definition which I found, or I myself, just wrote it, and I found it is one of the best definition that can be applied if we really want to achieve excellence in our life. So it says, if one is striving for excellence in life, one must follow a person who is on the verge of excellence. Very simple definition. So if one is striving for excellence in life, everyone must strive for excellence in life. Everyone whosoever is here with me right now, they all must strive for excellence. Your life You have to be perfect in what you really do in your life. So one must follow a person who is on the verge. Now here is the second challenging aspect which comes into the picture, and in this aspect, the new principle of following a person comes into place. Now following a person, some people do follow someone, some people don't want to follow anyone. Some people think what they think is the best, so they don't need to follow anyone. Now just try to do a little more brainstorming on it with the help of this pyramid. When we have three different propositions with us, the first is we strive for excellence through our own mind. Okay, we think this is best, and let's try to pursue it. We think, let me try to make an independent effort to understand things, or to perform certain actions, or to perform certain actions in the field when we want to achieve perfection. Then the second one is the follow individual authority. So the second idea that we have brought here in is, uh, sometimes that there are things which are not just governed by us. Uh, Things when we definitely need a guidance from an authority who is more experienced, who is more expert, who has more knowledge and capability to help us, to guide us on the path when we want to have excellence. We can take an example of a PhD student. When a PhD student is studying, he he has to write different theses, and he writes those theses under the guidance of a professor. So a professor is taking care, or he's guiding, instructing him how to really achieve his vision of uh, being a PhD, uh, or his vision for completing the PhD. So this is like a following an authority in the dimension or in the field where you want to achieve excellence. Then we have third authority, which most of the people are not aware of in today's society. Third authority is God, because God is perfect, as I was mentioning earlier. His creation is perfect. And if we try to strive, or if we try to follow Him as authority, at least when it comes to our personal life, so we can segregate our life. Okay, we have personal life when we actually, which reflects our behavior, which reflects our character when we are dealing with the society in general. So this is one one aspect of it, that perfect authority. God is a perfect authority, and he is also known as Vande Krishna Jagadguru. So we have an opportunity to follow that perfect authority known as God. Now, what happens in the society, most of the people either rely on first aspect from the bottom, or on the second aspect from the bottom. Majority of the people do not really come into the third tangent, which is known as perfect authority, that is God here. So they think, our mind will help us to achieve excellence. You may achieve some sort of excellence, but that excellence will ultimately be getting yourself into that problem which we discussed. Follow individual authority. Individual authority also has limited challenges, because people in this world are having four defects, which includes us also. We have tendency to commit mistakes. We have a tendency to cheat people. We get illusion, or we our senses are limited. When we say limited senses, I'll give you one simple example by which you can understand this, how our senses are limited. If you look at the dogs in the society, dogs have, we all know that dogs have higher capacity of hearing than an ordinary human being. So that means, uh, I mean, our senses are limited. There are animals, there are other species on this planet whose senses might be more stronger than us. So mind, okay, we should know we should always remember that our mind has some limitations, the four fundamental defects, which we will discuss in another session of ours. Then follow individual authority. Fine, you can follow your own individual authority in your own material excellence pursuits, but when it comes to your personal excellence, your personality, then you have to follow God or His representative who can train you on this path of excellence. So don't just get stick to this one set of excellence. I have to become perfect in this word by achieving this. That is okay, but don't just get yourself hooked to that. There's something more than that. Let's move further. So, what is the Vedic view on excellence? Now we have, as all of us know, that we have Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a manual of life. This Bhagavad Gita is giving us a different perspective or a different understanding through which we can be excellent or we can achieve perfection in our life. So here Lord Krishna tells to Arjuna in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 46, Yatah pravartir bhutanam yenam sarvamidam tatam sarva karmana samabhayasya sansiddhi vinnanti manava. For worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, a man can attain excellence through performance. So here God is introducing a very interesting point that if you worship Lord, so we all worship Lord, who is the source of all beings. If we worship Him, because as we had discussed earlier, He is the source of all excellence. He is the source of all perfection. Everything emanates from Him. When everything emanates from Him, if you take His shelter by the process of worship, then your life becomes easier. Then, then it becomes very easy for an individual to achieve excellence. Right now, what is happening in the society? Most of the people are aspiring to have excellence in their journey of their life. It is not good, but they are not concerned or they are not thinking about this element of worship, which is a missing link. I was telling there is a missing link. So we'll talk about this missing link. So worship again is a very broader term on which we can have a lot of discussions. We will pick that up in the end, and I'll be summarizing it to you, because we all have come from a perfect source, and that perfect source is teaching us how to be perfect. If we'll keep God aside and we'll try to be perfect ourselves, then at some or other point of our life, we will realize that whatever perfection that I was aiming for, is it really a right perfection that I should have in my life? Then we have an example here. Look at this small machine on the right side. This machine is perfect, can be considered like a source through which different things are being done. Machine is perfect. Machine has one component known as different nuts, and you can see these different nuts. So unless and until these nuts comes into the contact of the machine, their life has no value. It did not really achieve the excellence that it should achieve. But fortunately, not really fortunately, but I would say, if we use this specific example for the God also. So God is what? God is like a machine who is the source of everything, and we are like part and parcel of God in the form of nut and bolt. If we connect ourselves to God, then by the process of worship, then our life can be perfect. How we do worship and all those things will come up just in 2 minutes. Limitation of excellence. Now, there are some limitations of excellence, and I won't really say them limitations. Maybe it is some of the challenges which we all must be well aware of. If we are not aware of these challenges, then these limitations or these problems can, drift us back to what really we do not want to achieve in our life. Okay, let's look at this. First is there is no benchmark. Remember, you cannot compare things in this world. Okay, this person has become perfect, or this person is on the verge of excellence. I will also be like that. So different people have a different level of perfectionism in their life. So there is no benchmark to it. If I do something at some level, which I have today, and then okay, if I show it to someone who is more senior than me, then he will identify 10 other mistakes. So there is no benchmark, or there is no governing principle for the excellence within this world, because if someone will do something, then second person is already waiting to do something higher than what you really have done so far. Okay, and second is excellence demands time. Very, very important, very critical. Excellence demands time. It is not a day, it requires time. So we all need to be ready for it, that it's going to take time. Nothing is going to happen overnight. But if we make consistent effort of hearing this message, then all the demands of the body will be sorted. And then third one is excellence. Okay, so here the idea is excellence. Okay, we should all strive for excellence, which is good, and one must strive for it. But always remember a rule, that excellence is not the aim of life. One should be excellent in doing things, but it is not the aim of life. Otherwise, it can be a problem. Try to think beyond what is really having a direct nexus with the aim of your life. What level of excellence that you want to achieve, and which has a direct nexus with the. So work it out, and that will help you to even overcome these limitations on excellence, because I personally have done it in my life. So it's nothing but I'm just sharing my own experiences with you. Next is key learnings. Now we are near to completion of our discussion. So key learnings are: first, take shelter of perfect knowledge. Like we discussed that shloka in Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna is telling to Arjuna, okay, fine, if you want to perfect your life, I'm there to perfect your life. But you first take shelter of the perfect knowledge. God is giving us an opportunity to take this perfect knowledge within our life. Then we have, and the perfect shelter of knowledge is available from God in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Like we get a manual when we buy any product. Similarly, when we get this life, in order to run this life successfully, we all get his message in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Second, excellence is an art gifted by God. So worship God to get that gift. So it is an art. It is basically an art through which you can invoke your own emotions or your feelings or your intelligence or your mind in the service of God. And what is the outcome? Then you will be gifted by God in certain things which you might not have ever dreamed of. This is called as excellence. Excellence for material pursuits without keeping God in the center of our life. Okay, this is something quite interesting which I would like to reiterate for the purpose of clarifying the discussions that we are having, because different folks, different understanding. So here the idea is that no matter whatever you want to achieve materially, be it your education, be it your good career, it's all fine. Ultimately, you need to understand that we have to keep God. So excellence for material pursuits without keeping God in the center of our life will ultimately lead to failure. Yeah, so I was trying to explain this point, that we all want to be excellent in material pursuits. Again, quoting examples, we want to be a best writer, we want to be best in our academics, we want to be best in the painting, we want to be best in our music, we want to be best in sports. So there is no harm in having excellence in those domains. But if you do not keep God as the center of your life, then ultimately that excellence that you are trying to pursue will lead you to failure. So always remember that God should be the center of life in whatever action, whatever activities we do. And the fourth is the test of real excellence. What is the test of real excellence? The test of real excellence is if you think that, okay, fine, I have achieved excellence in my career. So you have to test, are you free from competitiveness, enviousness, greediness, pride, fame, and anger? If you think that you have cleared this test, if you think that you have cleared this test, then okay, fine, not a problem. But sometimes these are things which are there within our heart, but these things are in a very hidden format. We even do not know that these hidden things do exist. So for people for whom it exists, or they have some level of understanding and feeling about it, then they are on a better passage than the other masses that we have in our society. So these are tests of our excellence. Let us move further. Oh, we are just closing now. So what is the missing link in this entire process? So we talked about, let's say, professional excellence, which I started with. In our professional career, we use this in pursuit of professional excellence. Fine, this is something about professional word. Uh, in professional world, if you want to be trained, there are a lot of things available. If in recreational world you want to be perfect, there are a lot of options available. But if you want to be a true perfectionist, or a true spiritualist, or a pure religious, pure fellow, pure, if you want to be perfect in your spiritual practices, then these are the key parameters which you have to follow, without which you will not be able to achieve what you really desire for your life. So it says, practice with patience. You have to practice. What we need to practice? We need to practice that we will establish our relationship with the Lord. Practice with patience. You have to practice. How you have to practice? With patience. Always remember, whosoever has reached to the zenith of perfection, or whosoever has received excellence in his or her life, then he had been patient enough. Every year he is trying to add on things. Every year he is working on a different level, so that he can really come to a level when whatever he pursues, whatever he teaches to the world at large, is nothing but excellent, extraordinary, and perfect. So practice with patience under proper guidance makes man perfect. So generally we see this quotation, practice makes man perfect. So here I'm just making a little twist for the purpose of our discussion. Practice makes excellence perfect. Excellence and perfection is interrelated. So practice with patience. Whenever you are practicing anything in your life, you have to have patience. If you do not have patience, then sorry, you may keep on listening, but it will not really help. Then under proper guidance. If you want to be a perfectionist, then you please be under a proper guidance. Okay, so let's move on. So these are the few key aspects. Practice with patience and under a proper guidance can make a man perfect. Now again, I am reiterating a couple of things for the purpose of clarification. One is that we aspire for excellence in professional world, or in the world of the business segment. Second is we aspire for excellence in There can be so many different words, but professional word is one and personal word is another. These are the two broader categories of the domain dimensions of uh, excellence. So mostly in today's society, people are focusing on excellence within the professional domain, or maybe some recreational habits or recreational activities that they want to have in their life. Their entire life is focused on that tangent. So what happens? What is the outcome? We basically tend to forget our relationship with God. The point that I brought in the beginning about Vedic view. In the Vedic view section, we talked about the concept of worship. When we have concept of worship, wherever we achieve excellence in our life, then we are free from those contamination which I talked about, uh, competitiveness, anger, greed, pride, all these things. We get free from those things, even even though we are aspiring for material objects. So let me quickly conclude my talk with this worship, the word that is being used here, uh, which has been used in Bhagavad Gita. There it is said 18.46, by worship of the Lord. So if you know the art of worshipping Lord, then you can achieve excellence easily in your life. So here I have used the word excellence, but it is in real sense, it is perfection. So perfection is a synonyms with excellence. They both are interchangeable words. Excellence makes our life excellent. And if we want our life to become excellent, then we have to take shelter of the person who is most excellent in this world. And who is most excellent person in this world? It is Lord Krishna himself. And he is known as Vande Krishna Jagat Guru. So he's the teacher of the entire world. He can teach you and get yourself being excellent in any domain that you want to practice, in any domain that you want to be excellent in. He will help you. For that, you need to do worship, and the worship begins from hearing, from hearing the message, which I am trying to help you to understand. So I am speaking, you all are hearing, my ears are hearing. So all three, components are working. I am speaking, my ears are hearing, your ears are hearing. So these three components are working very predominantly here. So when it comes to worship, worship is basically primarily it is dependent on chanting and hearing. So hear first, and then eventually we'll come to chanting also. So with this note, I would like to thank all of you for joining this session today on this topic of excellence. Remember these key learnings. Please subscribe to our channel. We'll keep on posting different videos on the YouTube. My channel is there with the name Rashim Gupta. Always remember this missing link. Practice with patience under proper guidance makes man perfect. Proper guidance, it can come from an expert authority in the form of a human being, which you need to search out, or it can directly come from God. If you are trained enough, if you have a full connection, full reciprocation with God. The day you have full reciprocation with God, then God gives you direction from the heart. Okay, you want to achieve this, go ahead and achieve it. But yes, remember me, I am there on the backside. So always remember and then keep on pursuing what you really want to pursue. And that is called excellence. And that's why we started with in pursuit of excellence. In pursuit of excellence means it's like endless journey. There's a lot that we can achieve, there's a lot that we can learn. In this material world, everything has a limit, but on the path of spirituality, there's no limit. Everything is unlimited on the path of spirituality. So my request is just try to embrace this path whatever questions you may have, you can put it across. You can reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you and assist you on the path of excellence that you are aspiring for in your journey of life. Thank you very much. With this note, I would like to conclude my session for today, and I look forward to serve all of you with more and more videos that would be coming in near future on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Hare